Um, he's an all-arounder. I mean, he really doesn't have a weakness in his game. So that's one thing for sure. Um, I think in all my years here at Carolina, he's at the top of the list for goalkeepers. He's really talented, really gifted goalkeeper. It's been an evolution for him. He's gone through his ups and downs during his career here, but he's really in a nice place. He's matured on and off the field, and I think he's put in a lot of work to get where he is, and he's quite good. Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Go to CL Brown with the News and Observer.
Hey, Coach. Given that in this pandemic year, everything was kind of disjointed with the season. How would you kind of compare this team's journeys to your past teams? I mean, is it safe to say that that they've overcome more than anybody else to get where they are in this College Cup?
Boy, that's a big one. This year is not like any other year, from not just the pandemic, but just from the that has created the circumstances surrounding it too, right? So obviously we're dealing with that and the constant insecurity and unpredictability of the season and life. But it also provided an amazing soccer opportunity through all the hard work of our university, the ACC, the NCAA, who really gave us an amazing opportunity to have a season, and not just a season that expanded over 2 semesters, which completely changed the dynamics of everything we're used to doing it, and quite honestly, in all the best ways. If I were to look at our team and kind of track back mentally and say, well, how would we have done if we had 12 days of preseason and then played 20 games in 10 weeks? I'm not saying we couldn't be here, but I think our chances are a whole lot lower than they are. Obviously we did make it. There was too much learning to do. There was too much growing to do. There were too many new players. We actually got to follow a process as opposed to, just getting thrown into the fire and then you start and then you're going and then you blink your eyes and the season's, 2/3 of the way over, if not over. So it's been, add on top of that, again, as I mentioned, the unpredictability, the insecurity, the health concerns. It's been really unique, but I can only be thankful for all the people that worked over the top, hard and diligently, and for us, that gave us this opportunity. So it's been a very, very rewarding year for many, many reasons.
Go to Paul Swan with WRBC.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations making it this far. I'm just kind of curious, what are your impressions of Marshall? What have you seen so far? What can you tell us about him? And what are your impressions of Chris Grassi?
Unfortunately, we haven't gotten there yet. Obviously, we're still decompressing from last night. So I'd be throwing blind darts at this one right now. I mean, we've seen a little of them, but we're not, I haven't been kind of anticipating this matchup for 2 weeks. We take it one game at a time, and we're going through film today, quite honestly. So we're not there. Chris has obviously done a marvelous job with his team and his program to be here. And that's about all I can say with any kind of authority or educated answer. But we'll get to work on that today.
We'll go back to John Dell.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned the fall season and cramming in all those games. It sounds to me you like the way this kind of unfolded with having both semesters to play. Is there any more groundswell to making that permanent? I know next year I think is fall again, but is that something you guys are talking about as coaches?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's no secret that I'm a big proponent of what we call the 21st century model, which is a 2 semester model. We've put a lot of work into it. I mean, when I mean a lot of work, I mean, it almost took over becoming a second full-time job for me. Um, I believe it's just the right thing to do for the health, welfare, experience of the student athlete. I think it's clear what best practices are for the sport of soccer. And it would be lovely to, just distribute what we do over the course of time as opposed to feast or famine. I feel like it's a little bit of how we go about it right now. It's all of, competition and then all training and then all break. And I think with most things, soccer included, I think, kind of distributing what you do over the course of time makes a little bit more sense. And having experienced it, I had, high expectations. Obviously, I was very invested in trying to get a proposal for the 21st century model and advocate for it. And then going through it, it's exceeded my expectations. It's everything I would have hoped for and more. And I know because of the pandemic, the proposal is going to be tabled and put on hold, which makes sense. It's fair and it's reasonable, and I have no problem with that. But I hope that next year, when it comes back on the table, that we can gain some momentum and use this as a positive example of what it could be.